Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "God is dead," a statement that has reverberated through the halls of philosophical discourse for over a century. But what did Nietzsche mean by this? And more importantly, why did he feel compelled to announce such a bold proclamation? Nietzsche wasn't simply declaring the demise of a deity, but highlighting the erosion of the metaphysical and moral foundations that had shaped Western thought for centuries. In particular, Nietzsche was critiquing the moral systems that had been rooted in religious and traditional doctrines, systems that he believed stifled human potential, individuality, and creativity. His critique of traditional morality challenges the very foundations of how we perceive right and wrong, good and evil, and ultimately, our place in the world. In an era where traditional moral frameworks continue to influence global societies, understanding Nietzsche's philosophy becomes more crucial than ever. His critique of traditional morality is not just a critique of religious belief or dogma, but a call for the liberation of the individual from the oppressive structures that dictate conformity. As we journey through Nietzsche's profound insights into human existence, we will explore the depth of his challenge to morality, its relevance today, and how we might approach ethical living in a world where the old certainties no longer hold. Welcome to the unfolding journey, where we delve into the profound philosophical questions that have shaped our modern world. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most influential and controversial thinkers in Western philosophy, Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche's challenges to traditional morality continue to provoke thought and inspire debate, even over a century after his death. But before we explore the intricacies of his critique, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, so you never miss out on an intellectually stimulating conversation like this one. Whether you're a philosophy enthusiast or simply curious about how Nietzsche's ideas might influence our contemporary world, the unfolding journey is the perfect place to begin. Now, let's dive into the fascinating world of Nietzsche's critique of traditional morality, the birth of master and slave morality. At the core of Nietzsche's critique of traditional morality lies his distinction between what he terms master morality and slave morality. Nietzsche believed that Western moral frameworks, particularly those influenced by Christianity, were built on a slave morality. Slave morality, according to Nietzsche, arises from the resentment of the weak, the oppressed, and the powerless. It turns traditional virtues like strength, power, and assertiveness into vices, while virtues like humility, meekness, and self-sacrifice are elevated. These values serve the interests of the weak, allowing them to rationalize their subjugation by transforming their inability to assert power into a moral virtue. In contrast, Nietzsche contrasts slave morality with master morality, which is the moral framework of the strong and the noble. Master morality embraces virtues like strength, courage, creativity, and independence. It is not concerned with the feelings of the weak, but instead celebrates the flourishing of life and the individual. Nietzsche argues that master morality is inherently life-affirming, as it seeks to empower individuals to transcend limitations and create their own values. The resentment of the weak. One of Nietzsche's central claims about traditional morality is that it is deeply rooted in a resentment of the strong and the powerful. In his famous work on the genealogy of morals, Nietzsche traces the origins of morality back to a time when the weak, who had been subjugated by the strong, sought a way to justify their powerless state. By labeling strength and assertiveness as evil, the weak turned their lack of power into a moral justification for their suffering. This resentment ultimately led to the development of what Nietzsche calls the slave revolt in morality. Nietzsche saw this process as problematic, not only because it distorts the true nature of power, but also because it perpetuates a cycle of self-denial. The Christian moral framework, for instance, promoted values such as meekness and humility as virtues while condemning the very traits that allowed individuals to succeed in life, such as ambition and assertiveness. Nietzsche viewed this as a moral inversion that held humanity back from its true potential. The will to power, redefining morality. For Nietzsche, the ultimate goal of life is to express and actualize the will to power. This is the fundamental drive of all living beings, not merely the desire for dominance over others, but the impulse to overcome limitations, grow, and assert one's individuality. This drive forms the foundation of Nietzsche's moral philosophy, which contrasts sharply with traditional morality's emphasis on self-denial and sacrifice. Nietzsche did not advocate for the domination of others, but instead, he believed in the necessity of transcending one's own limitations to achieve greatness. In his view, the individual must be free to define their own values and pursue their desires without the constraints of traditional moral judgments. This concept of the will to power is central to Nietzsche's critique, as it demands a re-evaluation of what is considered good and evil. According to Nietzsche, true morality is not about following preordained rules, but about expressing one's unique power and creativity in the world. Nihilism, the consequences of traditional morality. One of Nietzsche's most famous and unsettling ideas is his notion of nihilism. He believed that the decline of traditional religious and moral systems would ultimately lead to a sense of meaninglessness. With the death of God and the collapse of traditional values, people would be left in a state of existential uncertainty, unsure of how to orient themselves in the world. This crisis of meaning is the result of a moral framework that, according to Nietzsche, suppresses the individual's creative potential and focuses on submission to external authority. Traditional morality, particularly as embodied in Christianity, offers no real pathway to self-realization or personal growth. Instead, it encourages people to live in fear of sin and judgment, stifling their natural desires and instincts. Nietzsche saw this as a dangerous state of affairs, as it could lead to despair and a loss of motivation to live. However, he did not see nihilism as an insurmountable problem. Instead, he believed that it was an opportunity for individuals to transcend traditional values and create their own meaning and purpose. This is where Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch, Overman, comes into play, a figure who has overcome the constraints of traditional morality and has the power to create their own values. The Übermensch, a new morality. The Übermensch is central to Nietzsche's vision of the future. Unlike traditional moral systems, which are based on external laws and doctrines, the Übermensch is an individual who has transcended conventional morality and created a new set of values based on personal strength, creativity, and freedom. The Übermensch does not submit to the expectations of society or religion, but instead affirms life in all its complexity and uncertainty. The Übermensch represents the ideal of self-overcoming, the ability to rise above one's limitations and embrace the challenges of life without resorting to traditional moral explanations. This figure embodies Nietzsche's call for a new type of morality, one that is grounded in individual autonomy and the expression of the will to power. In this way, Nietzsche's philosophy is not merely a critique, but also a call to action for individuals to live more authentically and to create their own values, free from the constraints of tradition. Nietzsche's critique of traditional morality remains relevant in contemporary society for several reasons. First, the decline of religious belief and the increasing secularization of society have led many people to question the moral frameworks that were once rooted in religious tradition. In a world where the certainties of religious and moral dogma are being questioned, Nietzsche's call for individuals to create their own values resonates with modern sensibilities. In addition, the rise of individualism and the growing emphasis on personal freedom and self-expression in contemporary culture reflects some of the ideals Nietzsche espoused. The emphasis on personal autonomy, the rejection of societal norms, and the celebration of individuality are all elements of Nietzsche's philosophy. However, these ideas also come with challenges, particularly in terms of ethical responsibility and the potential dangers of extreme individualism. Furthermore, Nietzsche's exploration of nihilism speaks to a modern sense of disillusionment. Many people today feel disconnected from traditional moral systems, and Nietzsche's idea that the loss of traditional values could lead to a crisis of meaning is all too familiar. Yet Nietzsche offers a way out of this nihilistic trap by advocating for the creation of new values and the embrace of life in all its contradictions. Nietzsche's critique of traditional morality offers a powerful and thought-provoking challenge to the values that have dominated Western thought for centuries. His call for individuals to transcend traditional moral systems and create their own values is an invitation to embrace personal freedom, creativity, and self-realization. In a world where old moral frameworks are increasingly questioned, Nietzsche's ideas offer a pathway toward a more authentic existence. If you enjoyed this exploration of Nietzsche's ideas and would like to delve deeper into other philosophical concepts that shape our world today, be sure to subscribe to the Unfolding Journey channel. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos, where we explore more of the thinkers and ideas that continue to shape our understanding of life, morality, and the human experience. Thank you for joining us on this intellectual journey, and we look forward to bringing you more insights in the future. Subscribe now and become part of the Unfolding Journey.